people just walk around my house talking about math, and it's kind of weird. I think the easy skills to learn in gaming, especially because they're playing group games, you guys are learning a lot about communication and just how to work with people. I don't think I ever really had like career aspirations. I just remember telling people I wanted to be loved and I wanted to love people and have someone to love when I grew up. Christopher, where's that time that Chuck's dad made an escape room? Let's see if we can find the link. I'm stone cold honor roll.
Hi, I'm Maddie.
And I'm Ella. We are homeschoolers. We met through a homeschool platform called Recess, where we found our passion for learning and podcasting.
Exactly.
Come join us on our journey of self-directed learning as we dive into all the things about recess on our
Recess Rundown Podcast.
And we will hopefully see you there.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Recess Rundown Podcast. Today, we have our very first Recess parent guest. Let's welcome Susie. She is a mother of three, a dual business owner that she runs with her siblings, a martial artist, a gamer, and she is currently tackling Math Academy to master the math concepts. Thank you for being with us today, Susie.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
It's amazing to meet someone who doesn't just supervise education, but actively participates in it as a student themselves. From karate to high-level math equations, you are showing your children that growth doesn't have an age limit, and that play is often the most serious form of learning. So, being a student yourself and educating yourself at the same time, has this changed your view on education or the way you approach it?
It's a little hard to answer because I haven't tried to teach people while I wasn't trying to learn things. So I don't know what I would be thinking differently if I weren't always trying to learn things. But I suppose it would seem confusing to me to be trying to teach people and to assume that I had already mastered everything, so there were nothing new. Because everyone gains a mastery of any individual topic at a different time of their life. So like you might have already mastered things better than I have in any given subject, and we wouldn't know that unless we compared. It seems awfully presumptuous to think that because I'm the parent, I would already have known everything.
Exactly. It all depends on the person and the kid. It, like you said, I could learn things a million times faster than another person, and you wouldn't know.
Yeah, because you might switch subjects, and now they're miles ahead of you. You never know.
How did you find Recess, and how has it changed from when you joined?
Actually, Maddie's mom sent us a message because my son Chuck was friends with her brother, with Maddie's brother. So we came over, and at first there weren't as many options of courses, right? I think it was pretty much the open community hour, and then you'd meet with a group like once a week. And there weren't as many options for what the groups did either. Now they play all kinds of different games and do different experiences. At first it was like you join a cohort, and I don't know if they were all playing Mindustry, but it seemed like they all kind of did Mindustry Factorio.
Yeah, the majority did Mindustry.
Yeah. Yes, there's just a lot more going on now, and a lot more people, and like there's a podcast now.
There is a podcast.
Recess has grown in so many ways. Like, it's kind of crazy to look back how it looked like before. Looking back at the old Recess, because I took a picture of it once when I first joined, because I wanted to see if it would change later on, and it did. I almost didn't recognize it.
Yeah.
And I didn't think things were missing back then, but now you look back and it's like, wait, they were missing all the stuff.
Why didn't we have this? We need this now. It is crazy. Even in the year and a half that I've been at Recess, it has changed drastically. The course options and just everything. Because I think when Recess started, community hour was their main focus, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
like, because since recess was so small when it started, every kid in recess kind of went to community hours.
Yeah, that's just, like you said, Susie, so many more kids. I think they said that Recess is the fastest growing online homeschooling platform.
wow.
I know, it's
It's
crazy.
it's funny because it's intimidating to think about because it's like, oh no, is it going to get too big? But it's like, yeah, but a year from now, we're probably going to be looking back again and being like, they were missing so much. How did we not know it was missing?
I know, like, looking back at me and Ella's old podcast episodes, why would I say that? Like, that makes no sense.
And now I want to know the weird nonsensical things you said.
Well, if we ever have that blooper episode.
Yeah, it will be in there.
So math is often a subject many students fear, me included. What was your relationship with math when you were a kid?
I think I liked math until you get to that part where you have to start writing stuff down or it stops working. And then I actually like almost failed a class one time. And so I started writing stuff down. And then I was kind of okay again, but I never got back like loving it. But I don't know. I was good with it for a long time. And then I married someone who just like, there are people just walk around my house talking about math. And it's kind of weird, but that seems to make them happy. So that's what they do.
Interesting.
Yeah. We went out to dinner last night and the server made a comment because my older son and my husband were just like giving each other math problems to do. And she was like, "Oh, I hope you finished your homework." And we were like, "Yeah, this wasn't homework. They're
Just for
just
fun.
doing math."
I don't think I would ever do math at dinner for fun, but
Yeah.
Well, it was like the way that other people would like talk about some article you read or some book you were reading or something. They were just like, "Ah, look at this neat problem." So I usually can't really participate in these discussions because I don't really know enough of it, which is kind of why I was like, well, maybe I should be doing some of this Math Academy stuff too, because eventually I'll understand what they're talking about. And then they keep getting better. I think they're getting better faster than I am. So like I'm not,
Oh,
I'm not tracking with, I don't know.
that's what we were talking about earlier. We all go at different paces.
Yeah. It's fun to watch them enjoy it anyway. But
Your goal is to understand your husband's math book that he wrote. I mean, tell us more about that and his book.
so he wrote a book when I think he was an undergrad at the time. It was called Real Infinite Series. It's actually been used for college courses a few times.
Interesting.
Wow.
And yeah, like once when we were dating, I was like, how much math do I have to know to actually understand this? And he's like, you've got a few years to go. And then I just didn't do anything for a long time. And so now I'm like, oh, I have to catch myself. So like, I am not caught back up to calculus yet. I know I need to be past there. So I don't know how long this goal is going to take. It might take the rest of my life, but
One day.
someday I'll kind of know what's going on in there, I guess.
Then you can participate in dinner conversations.
Yeah. And then like he wrote most of another book, but then his co-author was like an elderly man, so the co-author passed away and that just kind of got forgotten about.
Oh.
But it's all right. He's doing other math, I guess.
Do your kids share the same passion for learning math? You said that your eldest son.
One of them kind of does. Like he does. Gabriel's 16. He does competition math and seems to enjoy it. And he's pretty good at it. Like he's, he takes all the big tests and gets invited to take more big tests, which is, I guess, like what you hope for with that. It's like he's like some of them will give you medals and things. So like he's got medals for doing well in math contests, which is kind of cool. That's fun.
That's awesome.
And then like my daughter liked math until about the same point where she was in high school and she like hit a wall and was like, never mind, maybe I didn't like this. And Chuck, I think doesn't like math because they like math so much.
That's
Because
fair.
there's so much.
I mean, when everyone in your house, well, when almost everyone in your house likes math, then maybe you want to do something else.
He's gonna take his own path. He's really more of a reader. Which I don't think he lets people onto that.
I I haven't. No.
Yeah.
He's very. I know of his
Every
comics and his
yeah.
like writing, but I haven't. Don't know about the reading bit.
Every time a book club comes up, I'm like, why don't you want to be in a book club? He used to ask for them. I think what it is he likes to know that he's reading the same thing as people, but he doesn't want to actually talk about the books, which makes a book club very awkward because it's like we're all going to read the same thing and then not talk about it. We'll talk about something else, but we all know we're reading the same thing.
Yeah.
Like we all know what's going on. We don't need to discuss it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah, Maddie and we both run book clubs here at Recess.
Yeah. And many times I'm like, why aren't you in the book club? And he just kind of looks at me like, what? Why do you want this? So.
That's the thing. It's often parents and kids like, but I think he would love this so much, and kids are just not interested. I mean, I am a child saying this, but from what I've experienced with my mom and my brothers.
I still do it. And I'm in my 40s. And like my parents suggest something, and I'm like, I'm just going to do anything but what they suggest. Who knows why?
It's just, I don't want to take advice from you.
Yeah, kind of.
You were one of the first parents to complete a Mindustry challenge on Recess. It's super impressive to see you complete them. And it's honestly super refreshing and cool to see parents doing challenges. And you're doing like the Mindustry challenges that I can't even do. And I played it for a while and I'm still like lost, not knowing how to gather some materials. But
it took a long time to figure out how to do some of those things.
Yeah.
It really did.
Like I learned something, then I forget it. Do you enjoy Mindustry, and what do you think it teaches kids?
I mean, I do enjoy it. It seems like I feel like I'm getting a lot about trying to, it like kind of makes me figure out strategizing things better. Because I'm really bad at strategy. Like, I usually enter a game and it's this chaotic thing floating around doing random stuff to the materials in the game. So when I'm playing that, if I approach my industry that way, every single stage just completely falls apart. And so you have to, I just remember early on at one point, I think I was playing and it might have been Christopher who looked at this level and was like, why are all your materials on the same conveyor belt? And until someone said something about it, it had never occurred to me that I should be separating them.
Oh.
So I was just like loading everything together and then like, oh no, it's getting blocked off. Now I have like 5 conveyor belts side by side going somewhere. So when you keep going, it does force you to figure out how to organize what you're doing and maybe to like think through before you just kind of push your way through all the events going on. And it does, I mean, when you then get really detailed, it can make you pay attention to like, oh, this drill might produce at this rate, and this factory, this little kiln will need this much of iron, or whatever the materials are that you're pumping into each thing. So you eventually have to figure out like, oh, I'm going to need 5 of these to fill 2 of this at the same rate that 3 drills of this other material will fill it. Yeah. So you end up having to do math in the process too if you're paying attention.
Yeah.
Darn math. It's just
everywhere.
Well, and I don't know how many people, I don't know how often people like get that detailed into it. They would sit down and like write down step by step, but you do kind of like learn over time. Like the ones that produce faster, you need fewer of them than the ones that produce slower, even if you don't get into the exact numbers.
Talking about like games, have either of you played Overcooked?
I have.
I own it. I don't think I have. I feel like
Okay.
I think one of Chuck's groups was playing it for a while or something.
Yeah, I think there's like people played it in recess before, but Overcooked is a very
So
stressful,
chaotic.
very chaotic strategy game. The name is kind of what it's about. So you have during this level, it's also multiplayer. You're supposed to play it with other people. If you don't, then you're probably gonna lose because that it's very hard and it needs like people to be there to help you. Um, so basically, you have to just cook meals. They give you orders to cook, and you only have a few minutes, and you need to get at least like over a star to move on to the next level. And every level changes. And there's like different themes like cherry blossom, the normal world, space. And as you progress, it gets harder and harder. And it's one of the most stressful things I've ever played.
I think there's always some type of like shouting match when my family plays Overcooked. We're like, put the fish in the oven. It needs to cook. It's
Do different meals have like different speeds of cooking and everything too? So you have to
Yeah.
organize all
yes. And you have to race around the kitchen and watch out for the rats so they don't steal your food. It's
And then and
interesting.
sometimes the level moves up and down, like the airstrip one.
It's it's crazy. The strategy games, I agree with you. I struggle with them. It's because like I overthink. I'm like, but what if I did this? This strategy might not be good. I have to like, yeah.
I wonder if it would be like I used to have this app called Lumosity, and there was one of the games on it was you'd have to be a coffee barista, and so people would be like ordering coffees, and you had larges and smalls, and you had to like tell each one of all these like 10 different machines like which coffee to be brewing at which time, and then try to like click them all. You had to like go take the cup before it overflowed and all these other things. Like that was really stressful to play, and I imagine it's probably a similar feeling.
Yeah, it sounds a lot like Overcooked.
I actually was a coffee barista for a while, so if you're good at that type of thing, that might be a good job for you. And if
All
that was
right.
stressful, that might be one to stay away from.
Might stay away from
I
breaching.
I used to want to be a barista because I was so interested in cafes. Maybe not a barista specifically, but maybe a cafe.
That'd be cool. I feel like your cafe would be very cutesy. It would be
Yes,
very cute.
like the thing that I want to specifically do.
If you like cats, you could do one of those like cat cafes where people can sit with the cats while I'm jealous of people who have one of those they can go to because there's definitely not one around here.
Oh, I know. I wanted to go to one for my birthday last week, and I was so upset when we couldn't.
Oh, happy birthday kind of late then.
Thank you.
I'm allergic to dogs. I don't know if I'm allergic to cats
Oh,
too.
yeah, that's hard.
Because I haven't been near a cat in like months. But yeah, cat cafe, dog cafe, on the other hand, that's my language.
There's one like in between us.
I
It's a
wish I was
Samoyed
not
cafe.
allergic.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, I shouldn't have told you.
I mean, I'm trying to see as many dogs as I can so I can get over this allergy. So
I will. While looking at stuff for my birthday, we found a Samoyed cafe, so maybe I could send you the link to that because I think it's like in between our two houses.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times between around the ages of like 10 to 15, a lot of people, their allergies will change. So maybe you'll get lucky and you can outgrow those.
yeah.
Gabriel did. Because I think he's still allergic to some dogs, but like he was very seriously allergic to dogs and cats when he was little. And a few years ago, we like stopped in an adopt-a-pet for some reason, which even like when we were doing it, I was like, this sounds like a horrible plan. But we found out that he no longer is reacting to cats. And now we have 3 of them.
Yeah, I was about to say, when you said he was allergic to cats, I was like, wait, don't you?
Yeah.
You own cats?
Yeah, we got a cat, and then we were like, the cat's lonely, and no one's allergic to her. Let's get another one. And then we went in and came home with like a pair of kittens.
Oh.
So now we've got three.
Oh, I've I've seen a black cat on Gabriel's desk a few times.
They look the same, like the two kittens do. Pretty
Oh,
much so, like you may have seen different ones. There's two. Like there's
probably.
the older cat is gray, and then the kittens, I guess they're about to turn 3. So not really kitten, they're tiny, but they're black. It's cute.
That's so cute.
What skills do you see your kids developing through gaming that you believe are essential for their future?
I think like the easy skills to learn in gaming, especially because they're playing group games, are a lot of, I mean, you guys are learning a lot about communication and just how to work with people at all. It's like a lot of, it's really hard to teach people how to work with a group. I know standard schools try to do it a lot by giving people group assignments, but then you always get like the stereotypical situation that is on like every TV show ever, where you have like the bully who's like, I'm going to do nothing and you're all going to do my work for me. Or you see the kid who like they have to pull their entire group through because no one else is working. But in these games, like it's also fun, so you're motivated to actually be a participant. So like everyone ends up learning how to work with people instead of it being like one person learns that they're always going to have to carry everyone through or whatever. And I don't know, that's just, it's hard to teach people to work with people, and it's working really well to teach them through games. So I feel like
Yeah.
it's really going to benefit everyone. You need that.
Yeah, I think it's a big part of recess is they really try to teach kids how to work together. I mean, that's really like a big part of squads,
Yeah.
especially. Like they have all these new squads coming in with like games like Repo and Peak and stuff, and I think it's all designed to help with teamwork and collaboration. And like,
I guess I don't know if you guys see the same summaries after. Like the summaries after too will explain like, oh, this week we really worked on doing this together, or what it'll say like something that worked really well, and this person did this task, and it allowed these people to do whatever other thing.
yeah, I think
So you can kind of see it happening.
it's nice. You can actually see that growth. Do you select games for your kids, or do they choose what they want to play? Which of the games that your kids have played have surprised you with what they've learned from them?
I tend to be about as hands off as I can be a lot of times. Because I found when they were younger, I would always feel like, oh no, I need to be selecting what you're doing. And then at one point, Gabriel had a group of friends, and all they wanted to do was play Fortnite. And this was like at the time when Fortnite was starting to become like a problem for everyone. And he and his friends realized that they were spending all their time on Fortnite and they weren't enjoying anything else, and they needed to stop Fortnite. And they stopped by themselves. And that helped me realize that, like, if I let them pick their games, they're actually smart enough to make choices about what they're doing. So it kind of it it can be off-putting to a lot of people to say like I don't really control what they're doing in that sense, but like I really try not to, because they're coming to the conclusion that this thing wasn't healthy for them or that this was working for them. So I've kind of just been letting them pick what they're up to for the most part. Yeah, I mean, like we have minute, you actually have to, be able to read and write and do math and all, and like know some basic history and science and stuff. But like otherwise, they're pretty much doing the stuff that's making them happier.
Yeah, it's very self-directed.
I feel like there was a second half of that question.
Which of the games that your kids have played, like, did anything have surprised you from what they've learned from them?
Oh, that's hard. It's hard to tell exactly what they learn from what game, right?
True.
Especially when you're learning skills about cooperation and working with people or general strategy. it's really hard to point and say, here's the moment I learned that. And it's even harder to point to that in someone else, if, you know, especially when you're not standing over their shoulder, inspecting moment by moment what's going on, which would kind of be creepy. So not doing that. I don't know. Yeah. It's hard to say what they get from from which experience. The overall scheme of things is that they're working with people well, and that's good. So we're going to keep doing it.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, I personally really agree with everything that you said, letting them choose what they want to do. Learn your stuff, but you're very free. I mean, I basically learned to read from video games. It kind of, not entirely, but it kind of sparked that need, that want to learn.
Well, that was when you needed it. Read.
Yeah, and like I learned a little later than other kids, but then I was suddenly on the same level as them when I did.
Yeah, because a lot of kids, especially when you do something late, everyone gets so scared and worried about it. And usually, if you don't, I mean, sometimes people just need a little more intervention, but sometimes they also just need to relax for a minute and find a need for this skill. Then all of a sudden it just kind of clicks and you're fine.
Exactly.
I'm glad that worked for you with video games.
Me too.
Because reading's a hard one, I think, for everyone.
Yeah, it is. Especially the English language. It often makes little to no sense.
It's, you know, it's funny because I always felt that the English language made no sense. My daughter was extremely dyslexic and had a really hard time with reading. So I ended up getting involved in these groups that study the origins of words. And I never really got very good at it, to be honest with you, but I would read all these materials from people and ended up learning about experts that people have studied the language enough that every word we have, even when they seem nonsensical, there are actually very strict rules for how words got to be the way they are. And a lot of the spellings are because the word was passed from this language to this language, but our words, the spellings will tell you the exact meaning of the word in a way that people kind of take for granted until they spend way too long studying it.
That's really interesting. I did not know that. That's so cool.
I wish I were a better person to be explaining it.
No, I mean, you made it sound really cool. So
yeah, there's a lot of meaning behind how our words are spelled and how our words are formed, and enough people don't understand it, like myself even, that knowledge doesn't get passed around. Chuck's got a bunch of books on it, because I was I think he would like this more than I do. So he's got all these books on the history of English words and how language fits together. He may or may not ever talk to anyone about, but he's got them.
At least he's got them.
Yeah. And he reads a lot of stuff. He's kind of got a library surrounding his desk.
Me too.
Maddie, your book is in his active reading pile. Just so you know that.
Awesome.
Yay. Oh yeah, he did. He put that photo in the chat.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that means that I'm not allowed to take it because it's there. But he'll have 6 or 7 books at a time that are currently being worked on, so you can't take the book, or he's why'd you take my book? So
I mean, I agree with that. I'm busy. I'm working on 4 books at the moment. So yeah, I've got a big bookshelf in front of me. Basically, my room just looks like a mini library.
I've been obsessed with this new series. There's only 3 in the series, and I'm on the 3rd one already, just after a week of finishing 2 other ones. And I'm almost done this one, so I'm disappointed. And I'm also starting to read some Harry Potter books. So yeah.
You haven't read those before? This is your first time?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
series are always the best. I mean, it's always so disappointing when you finish them, but like the fact that you just like them so much that you finish the entire series in a week.
2 days to finish each of them.
In the form, you mentioned that you enjoy escape rooms. That's so cool. Tell us more about this. What is the craziest or most challenging escape room that you've done?
I mean, I think the most beautiful escape room I've ever done was one that was it was like sci-fi, but they incorporated they had things from Doctor Who and things from Star Trek and things from Star Wars, and they like mashed it all into one giant room. And I have no idea how these guys justified it to themselves, because they have one room at their location, so they can only have one group at a time. And a lot of people book a room for 2, 3, or 4 people, and they spent $1.5 million building this room. But so everything was just made so perfectly. It's at 5 Senses Escape in Novi, Michigan, but it was very beautiful. But we kind of have traveled around. Every time we go somewhere, we do escape rooms there. We just kind of do them all over. They're always fun.
That's so
And they're like there's a problem and something great about pretty much every escape room you go to.
Yeah. I mean, I love escape room too, but I get scared of the easiest things because escape room has very loud noises all the time. And most of them do, I think. Well, say kind of based off of the ones I've been to.
Are you going to like horror themed rooms?
No.
Okay.
One of them was like a Bonticle kind of escape room where it's like a greenhouse on another planet, and we have to stop this bad plant. And for some reason, in one room, we kept having that shooshing kind of noise because water, I guess.
Okay.
I just remember that sound, and every time that happened, I jumped. Yeah. I mean, escape rooms
you described it as for some reason, because there's a lot of rooms that there's something super weird that makes no sense, and you're like, I don't know, for some reason there's this weird plague coming.
I know, like escape rooms are good, but sometimes they make like no sense.
Yeah.
Well, if I am ever having trouble with the escape room, I will ask Chuck for help.
My husband I know Christopher had a link to it, and he some kids were going to try and do it at some point in time. My husband actually made like an online escape room for the recess kids at one point.
Really?
Really?
Yes, because we found like this thing that, what was it, like escape room? It was like Room Escape Maker or something. The website was like a weird name. Yeah, it was actually pretty hard. Which might be why more people haven't done it.
Maybe that's so cool. Huh. Now I'm curious. I might want to try that.
Like, Christopher, where's that time that Chuck's dad made an escape room? Let's see if we can find the link.
So, you are 18 months away from a black belt in karate. Congratulations.
I might stall. It might take a little bit longer because this stuff is getting really hard. Just to say.
I mean, you'll get it one day.
Yeah. I mean, it's going so much better than I would have expected when I started. I'll say that.
How do you find the principles of martial arts, like repetition, progression, and discipline, help you in everyday life, like possibly in homeschooling as well?
Well, I mean, I think it's just like we end up reinforcing in ourselves that sometimes something is really hard and you just have to keep doing it. Because, I mean, if you give up right away on everything, then you very rarely accomplish very much. People who do anything interesting probably fail 1 million times before they do that. Oh, I mean, there are going to be exceptions, but but for the most part, you constantly have setbacks. And, you know,
Yeah.
kind of just have to keep going anyway.
Exactly. I remember Ben shared a photo on the feed, and it had something. It was like a little, it demonstrated like someone trying and then failing and then giving up, and then it was like, or like the stages of doing something. I don't know, but it's very, very similar to what you said. How did you get into karate? What like inspired you?
Actually, we were just at home and really bored and didn't ever go anywhere or do anything. So I like signed my kids up for this random thing. And like I was watching them do it for like 2 years. And I was like, I don't know, maybe I should just be doing this since I'm just sitting here. So I just joined the class. So there's
That's cool. My mom did a similar thing where you've just joined a rock climbing gym. She's like, I like sitting with the other parents, but I think I'm just going to buy myself a membership and start climbing with you guys. This looks fun.
yeah, I was like, I was wasting so much time just sitting there.
Why not join in as well?
Well, and it's funny, like it's so out of character. Like probably the most athletic thing I've done in my life was like play piano really fast. I don't like, I just like, I don't know. I'm in my 40s. I'll join karate now. I guess.
It's a good skill.
Yeah. It's been fun. I've met a lot of nice people. So there's that. I have medals now. It's really cool. I don't like, okay, my division is basically like I went to nationals last what I guess it was still summer. My division, I was the youngest woman there. So, and I left with a silver medal in sparring. So like I always joke with myself in my head that like I beat up a bunch of old ladies and got a medal for it. Like, no one really got beaten up. And someone then beat me, but
That's, oh my gosh, you got a silver medal. That's so cool.
yeah, it was, yeah. And that's the, like, I'm really bad at sparring, so I was obviously having a really good day for myself, but I'm just not naturally a fighter.
Well, that's why you take lessons, right?
Yeah. Lessons to be a fighter, I guess.
Okay, this is kind of like the big question. Not really. No pressure. But why did you decide to homeschool?
So all three of my kids ended up being a different reason. Like the first, it's funny, my daughter's my oldest, and she's now graduated out. She moved out of state last year. But like Chuck is the youngest, and so we actually pulled him out of school first. And it was actually because his personality, if things were too easy and the classroom was boring and he was uncomfortable there, he would just leave. And that was a problem. So I was actually working 3 or 4 blocks away from the school, and I was getting a call almost every day to just come get him because they were like, I don't know, he just doesn't want to be here. He left class one day and walked himself to the front office and said, I want to go home and play video games. And they actually called me and said, he's in the office. He wants to come play video games. All right. You only pick up your kids so many times before you're like, all right, this isn't working. And then we worked out that, he would stay there if he could read a book he liked. So he had all these books, and then his teacher, he was going through so many books. They wanted you to read books at a very specific level, and he was reading books that were too high of level, and so he was keeping all these chapter books in his desk. And so his teacher actually he wasn't allowed to bring all of his books in because he was bringing too many books to school. So then he started leaving again, and we were like, never mind, we're not doing this anymore. So he started homeschooling basically so he would stop leaving the room and so he could read the books he wanted to read, which is really weird.
Kind of cool though.
It's cool and weird at the same time. So it's like they didn't want to stop him from reading, but it was also he doesn't want to do anything but read, and we don't know what to do with him. So he just came home and read more. There we go. And then we ended up, after that happened, it just made it almost more obvious that Gabriel, who was a couple of years older, like they were limiting how much Chuck could read. Well, they were also limiting how much math Gabe could do because Gabe actually wanted to do math. The director of curriculum for the district specifically told his teacher that she was not allowed to teach him algebra during class when he was in 4th grade. And like, that was a really weird instruction. It was also weird that I knew about the instruction, but like, I don't know. I didn't like this. And so they were putting him in online programs, and you're intentionally slowing him down so that he won't learn more math. And that's just strange behavior, and I don't like it. So he came home so he could do more math. And then like both of them were really happy, and my daughter was in high school and she was miserable, and she was looking at our house and going like, but they're home and they're learning more and they're happy. Why can't I be at home? So she started homeschooling too. So that's kind of a weird, long and winding bit of too much information. But yeah. Basically no one was happy in their school, and they were happier at home. And now they're doing more stuff because it's things they want to do. So they're getting more out of it. So
That's cool. Like,
yeah. And Gabe actually was done with as high as our district goes in math. Well, and he was in like 7th grade. So we're like, all right, so you can take stuff. So he's been taking weird online, like he took a class on fractals one semester, and he's taken some classes on number theory and stuff that you can't do in a standard school, but it's all online. You can find people to do it. And my husband's a mathematician, so he can come up with things. And, Chuck's doing like writing scripts and random stuff like that because he doesn't want to. If you give him an essay, he doesn't really feel like it. But if you give him some other kind of writing, he writes. Go figure.
That's awesome.
Like I would imagine you guys probably do stuff that in a normal school they would be like, well, that doesn't count, but it's like you're doing the same skill and you're just applying it in a different place, and now you're happier, right?
Exactly. I mean, I can't really relate to I've never been to school, just always been homeschooled. But yeah, I think school people would think the way that I homeschool is pretty weird.
Yeah, people get very thrown off by it.
Yeah, it's interesting how they a lot of the time can't really wrap their heads around it.
Yeah, like you're learning stuff, and it's not from someone just standing in front of the room like proclaiming things at you, and then then you do a specific assignment, and that's the only thing you're allowed to do. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Would you have wanted recess when you were a kid?
I think it would have been a lot more fun. I don't know. I didn't really fit in school that well. So, oh. I don't think my husband would have, just because he really liked the like academic thing where it's like, here's the rules and here. Did you guys ever watch Phineas and Ferb?
Yes.
Okay, like Baljeet.
Mm-hmm.
And like, specifically, like somehow my playlist in the car includes this time where Baljeet went to like a summer camp and they weren't giving him like academic enough stuff, and so he was like doing band, and so he wrote a song that's like, I'm stone cold honor roll. Like it's all about up with the establishment and like I will comply and all this. I don't know. But like some people want that kind of rigorous structure, and some people it just annoys them.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I don't really like to have the kind of structure that like I don't know, strict academic environments give. So I think I would have been a lot happier if I had been able to like freely explore things. And so I was always studying something outside of school. It just didn't, it didn't like count, but I was learning, and I don't know, it was information that I found more interesting. So
yeah,
and I ended up fine.
That's cool. I mean, you probably could have I feel like recess might have just taken all the stuff that you were doing to a whole nother level.
Yeah, I would have just done more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when I was in college, I switched my major a million times. But I was doing art education, and I did religious studies, but as a sociology study, because I just like to study people and why people thought and believed the things that they thought and believed. And that never fit in K to 12 school. Where like when I was in high school, I used to make pamphlets on different belief systems and pass them out to people because it bothered me that I was in an area where everyone kind of all has the same thoughts and belief structures, and that people didn't understand that other people thought things differently. So I would make pamphlets and pass them out, and I would actually get in trouble for telling people what Islam was or what Judaism was or something like that. And I don't know.
Interesting. It's really cool that you did that, though.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I thought it was fun. I actually went to a Catholic school for a while, which is part of why that did not go over well. But I think there were students who were not Catholic who'd appreciated it.
What did you want to be when you were a kid, and did that change over time?
So I don't think I ever really had like career aspirations, which is part of like when I went to college and I kept changing my major. When I was a kid, I've read it might have been from John Lennon or someone who said they just wanted to be happy or whatever. I just remember telling people I wanted to be loved and I wanted to love people and have someone to love when I grew up. I do, and I don't think that's ever changed. So I think that's really just all I wanted, because all the other things are kind of in the background. You can change your job or, your activities, and I can go do escape rooms. Then next year I can become obsessed with playing disc golf or something. Like, I don't know. I've still got this background of I've got a good family and friends, and I love people, and people love me, and we're good.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
I'm glad you feel that way. So do I. It would have been a bummer if you were like, that's a terrible answer.
Yeah. Come on, Susie. What are you doing?
Be a doctor, be a lawyer.
So, do you want to play a game?
Okay, sure. What kind of games do you play?
We play many, many games. Most of them are tailored to each guest. So, you mentioned that you really like Disney World.
Oh, yeah.
So, this is Disney sketch artist. You also said that you like art. So, one person secretly chooses a Disney character. They then have to describe them in detail as if they're talking to a sketch artist, helping to identify someone without revealing the name or being too obvious. Like one of those like criminal like sketch artists.
Yeah.
The other person must then sketch what they think the character looks like based on the description they're given.
Okay.
So you get to pick the Disney character that you get to describe, and then Maddie, do you want to be the sketch artist?
I mean, I can.
Okay.
Are there like restrictions of other than the name? Like there aren't serious restrictions.
The point is kind of to get like a fun, maybe not like exactly. So, no, not really. Just kind of do whatever. See if they can do. Like maybe don't go, he's a blue alien with big ears. As for Stitch. Like, he's blue, he's fuzzy,
Are we doing color or not?
I don't know. You can decide.
Okay.
Would you rather do colors, or do you want to do something black and white?
I mean, I don't mind either.
Okay. All right. I guess we'll do colors. Trying to think of something that's like not crazy and off the wall. So, it's hard to think of something that's not going to be too obvious, but then also isn't like. Because I don't know what stuff you watch, so maybe that helps. Okay.
I'm so nervous I'm gonna mess this up.
Oh, it's okay. All right. Like a very small girl wears like a green dress. It's maybe like kind of like a short skirt dress.
Can I ask questions?
Huh? Does it say, or is this maybe this is our own game?
It doesn't specifically say. Yeah, you can ask some questions.
Is it like a summer dress?
Yeah. Like it's warm out. We'll have it be warm outside. That helps you draw the clothing. Let's go with yellow hair up in a bun.
Okay.
I think she has blue eyes. I'm not totally sure. Never really looked at the eyes that much.
Blue eyes.
And very pale skin. She's usually drawn with pale skin.
Okay, pale skin.
And the great defining feature. It's like these kind of blue silvery wings on her back.
Oh, wait, I think I know who this is. I'm just kind of speed coloring the skin right now, but like, what was the wings?
Kind of like blue and shimmery. They're kind of like a silver or bluish and shimmery color.
How do you draw
And their
wings?
wings. I mean, seriously, their wings.
Okay, blue. Like dark blue?
I do light.
Okay.
I'm on it. Like, I'm not drawing this, and I'm very confused.
Really? I think I got it. Like, I think I know who this is. Anything else?
If she doesn't have feet yet, she usually wears like a silvery shoe.
I made her look very stubby.
Okay. Well, she should be short.
Yeah. Her legs are like the size of her head.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
it
works.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, when we're talking about fictional people, they could all kinds of different ways to any different person.
I mean, yeah. Cartoons are always very fun. Nothing makes sense in the best way possible.
Exactly. Okay, is that it?
I don't know. How do you feel about your drawing? Do you feel like you need more details?
I mean, no, I think it's pretty spot on by your description.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna save
We'll see how bad I am at describing things.
Okay, let me put this up in full screen. Do I guess who it is?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, I think it was Tinkerbell.
Yeah, that's a great Tinkerbell. That is exactly what I described to you.
Usually,
And are her eyes blue? Like now that I'm thinking about it, like she's so little, I don't feel like they ever really show her eyes that much. Or it's like
yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know. I have blue eyes, so I also just like imagine people having blue eyes, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I mean, I guess like that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
This usually goes horribly. You guys did so well. We have Jaden's question next.
Oh, okay.
Our last guest.
So from our last episode, we interviewed Jaden, and we at the end of our episode, we always ask the person to give a question for our next guest. And Jaden's question was, what was the one bad experience you had channeled? What was one bad experience you had that you channeled to good? What advice would you give others to help channel their experience into something good? Does that make sense?
A really recent one.
Yeah, I might also be a bit my fault. I said some words wrong, but
that's right. I actually had a really bad experience recently. It was like kind of horrific because it was a nightmare scenario where I was taking a test. It was in karate class, but basically there's a series of certain motions that we have to memorize. And I thought I had to know up through 15. And during the test, I found out I needed to know up to 20. And it was really bad because it's that you have nightmares about it in standard school settings where you show up on test day and you didn't know it was test day.
Yeah.
It was terrible. and I kind of fumbled my way through it. Anyway, I saw someone go through a similar thing a few years ago where they totally didn't know what they were doing in a test like this, and they responded by just quitting and never showing their face again. And it always made me really sad. And like, this happened, and it was horrible. But I just did what I could do, and then went back the next time and said, I need help, and we've got to figure this out and go back and fix it. And it really seems to me like the most you can do. Sometimes things, you kind of just fall flat on your face, and you don't really have much of a choice but to keep going, so you do. So
Exactly.
if something like that were to happen to you, you just make the best that you can, and remember, like, you have a whole other realm of the rest of your life. Like, it doesn't define you that you failed something one day. You just have to keep going, and it gets better. And you work, and I know most of the stuff now. It's been a month, but like, I now have most of it down. So if I were to do that test again, I would be fine. But you just kind of regroup and say, oh, well, that was a bad day, and now we'll make it better.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, thanks. That was a really bad day when that happened.
Oh.
If you were to create a question for us to ask the next guest on a show, what would it be?
If there was one thing in their life that just makes them happy, how their life has turned out, maybe, or so far, or
What is one thing
like,
that
yeah,
made yourself happy?
yeah,
in
like,
your life?
what is one thing in your life about how your life is so far that has just made you very happy? I don't think a lot of people focus enough on the things that make them happy.
Yeah.
I think it's easier to get caught up in the stuff that is not happy.
Definitely.
Um,
So it is the end of the episode, and thank you so much, Susie, for being on the Recess Rundown podcast. It was really fun to get to know you and chat about all these random video games and sketch Disney characters.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was actually really fun. You guys are nice to talk to.
Thank you.
Yeah, just to close it off, if you are a part of the Recess community and would like to be on our show, please email us, Maddie and Ella, at recessrundown@gmail.com, or you can message us on the Recess platform, and maybe you could be on the podcast too.
Please like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye.